Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of True Crime Strategic. I wanted to do a quick show before I left to go to work. I was supposed to leave, but I said, I got a couple minutes to share this update information with you. We have been covering today the unfortunate passing of this young, beautiful girl who unfortunately died at the hands of a diabolical individual, Hailey Buzbee. All right. She was missing since January 6th, I believe, and her body was recently found because her killer, Tyler Thomas, actually worked with the FBI to lead them to her body. Now, we have some interesting facts that have just come out because everything is breaking news right now. The news is now giving us more information as to what she went through before this man took her life. And I still don't understand why he did it. Apparently, she left on her own accord to go be with this man. And it appears that there are recordings that he tried to get rid of where she was engaging in consensual acts. Now, I use the word consensual acts for a reason, because in Indiana and Ohio, two places that she's connected with, the age of consent in those states is 16, which means that his relationship with her was not unlawful. Now, to me, it's immoral. And it appears to me, in my opinion, you take that for whatever that's worth, this guy was a hebephile. Now, we use the words pedophile all the time to describe people who like children. That's not exactly an accurate term. That is for prepubescent young people. For men such as this, monsters such as this, who seem to have a predilection to be attracted to teenage girls, that's called hebephilia. So it appears to me that he was a hebephile. Why? Because there's rumors on the internet that other young women that he met off these gaming platforms have been commenting on posts. Most of them, from my understanding, are not saying that he was violent towards them, that they didn't understand how he's connected to this situation because he was not violent towards them. But what does that mean to me? It means nothing. All right. So you luckily met this guy and you're still alive. Good for you. God bless. Right. But what it tells me is that he was on the internet searching for these young women. He was searching for them. Now, this is the funny thing, how the laws are kind of wonky, because it's perfectly lawful for him to mess with a young woman at the of Hailey's age, but you can't record it. So when you record it, then it becomes CSAM. But if you don't record it, then there's nothing law enforcement can do to you if you're engaging in carnal relations with a person of that age, even younger, because she was 17 and the age of consent is 16. That's the kind of wonkiness. So you got a crime that can send you to jail for 10, 15 years if you record it with your phone. But if you do everything but record it, perfectly lawful. Isn't that crazy how our laws don't always keep up with the times? I don't think you should take away the illegality of recording it. No, I think you should raise the age. How is it okay for a 16-year-old to be involved in a relationship with a 39-year-old? But that's not the cutoff of the age. There is no age limit. So technically, 16-year-old could be with a 90-year-old in Indiana and Ohio. And guess what? I'm in New York, and it's not much better. It's 17. There's only but a handful of states where the age of consent is actually 18. Let's see here. I think it's only maybe one. Tennessee. Nope, it's more than one. I apologize. Oregon, North Dakota, California, Delaware, Florida, and Arizona. That's it. I may have missed one, but out of about 50 states, I didn't count, but it appeared like I only called out maybe 10 or 11. The rest of them is 16 or 17, and I think that Mississippi used to be much younger, but they raised it most recently. I think 16 is now the bare minimum in America, but that is a recent time thing. 10, 15 years ago, you saw ages as low as 14. So we got some work to do, ladies and gentlemen, because that's too low to understand the complexities of these type of carnal activities, especially when you have such a wide age gap. How can you articulate that one person is not being exploited by another? I get it. 17, 19, at the most extreme, 17, 20. I was 17 years old in college. If I'm 17, I got skipped a grade. So I was 17 years old in college. As an adult male, as a ex-crimes investigator by trade and employment, I would not want a girl who's 19 or 20 while I'm in college going to jail because she saw me on campus and let me take her out on a date. But once you get beyond that, you can't say that somebody's not being exploited when you have a 39-year-old and a 17-year-old. That's crazy. But whatever. Let's get into this because, unfortunately, I don't have all the time in the world for us to get into the nitty-gritty of my personal opinions of how diabolical Indiana and Ohio is for having a 16 age of consent. Let's get into the details of what is being uncovered as this case is breaking and unfolding.
There is breaking news as we come on the air today. The attorney for the man connected to the disappearance of an Indiana teen, Hailey Buzbee, has confirmed within the last hour the young girl's remains have been found. 39-year-old Thomas Tyler was in court just hours ago. I am Tracy Townsend. We're glad that you are joining us, but we do want to warn you that some of the details we are about to share may be disturbing for some to hear. Thomas was in Franklin County Court and is accused of pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor and tampering with evidence.
All right, so pandering in Ohio and Indiana basically means production, distribution, and getting a young person to participate in these activities. That's basically what it means. That they just use old speak, okay? Let's keep going.
Indiana officials say Thomas was in the neighborhood where Buzbee went missing. 10 TV's Lacey Crisp was in court this morning where she talked with Tyler's attorney, and she's live outside the courthouse in downtown Columbus. Lacey.
Well, after court, Tyler Thomas's attorney, Sam Szymanski, confirmed to me that officials in Perry County have recovered what they believe to be Hailey Buzbee's remains. Now, according to court documents, Thomas picked up Hailey out of state on January 6th and brought her here to Ohio. Fishers, Indiana police said last night in a news conference that they believe Thomas killed the teen shortly after and that it happened in Hocking County. Now, within the past hour, we talked to the Hocking County Sheriff, who tells us they are still searching that Airbnb where Thomas stayed, looking for evidence. Now, when Columbus police searched Thomas's home here.
So basically, this was totally planned out by him, coordinated. He even got an Airbnb so that he could be closer to his victim. Totally diabolical. The question I have is, why kill her? Because all the evidence points that she was a willing participant. All the evidence points that he has done this before, and he targets, because he's a hebephile, young women off of these gaming platforms and have met many in the past. So my question is, what went wrong here with Hailey? And that's why I kind of floated. I don't believe in it, but I kind of floated. Is it possible that he did not actually kill her and that her death was possibly accidental? This is just a outlandish theory that I have out there, probably due to drug usage. That's what usually it is. It's an outlandish, I'm telling you right now, it's an outlandish theory. But it seems to me that something is amiss here, because how do we get from a guy that has a history of meeting these young women off the internet, exploiting them? I call it exploitation, even though Indiana and Ohio calls it legal. I call it exploitation. Why is it he has a history of meeting these young women off the internet, these gaming websites, exploiting them, but then they go home? But he meets Hailey, does the exact thing he's done so many times before, has videos of him having intercourse with her, which by all accounts so far have not been reported as forced or coerced, but then she ends up dead. Why? Why? What's the difference here? That's all I'm trying to figure out. I ask questions. I get paid to ask questions in the real world. It may not be true. He may have brutally murdered her for all we know. I'm just asking questions. Let's keep going.
According to court documents, they found images and videos of Hailey in Columbus and on Thomas's computer and phone. He is facing pandering sexually oriented matter involving a minor and tampering charges. Szymanski explained after court that Thomas willingly turned himself in on Saturday and worked with the FBI and other law enforcement to locate Hailey's remains.
Guys, she packed a bag. She went with him. There's videos of him getting everything that he wants. Why then kill you? What's the point? You gave me everything that I wanted. Usually when those deaths happen, it's like the victim is too young and they want to make sure they don't have a witness because it's illegal regardless, or the person is not giving them what they want. She gave him exactly what he wanted. She willingly left her home with a duffel bag so that she could spend multiple days with him. Why kill her? I'm trying to figure this out, guys.
Facts. There is a juvenile missing out of Indiana who was last known to be in the company of the defendant. A search warrant was executed at the defendant's home. Digital devices were seized and found to contain child sexual abuse material.
Right. And this is the other thing right here, right? Why assist the police? Because if they don't have a body, it makes it more difficult for them to get a murder charge against you. Why assist the police unless you've made a deal? Because remember, I don't think they have the death penalty in those states. So you're looking at life without the possibility of parole. And even if they give you a deal, if you murdered her, you're going to be looking at 35 years, 40 years to life. He's already in his 30s. He'll get out when he's 70 or 80. Why assist him unless you feel like your assistance would give you a much lighter sentence than what you would have faced if you went to trial, maybe if you did not kill her with malice? Let's keep going. This is just a theory, ladies and gentlemen. I am in no way trying to help this guy. I'm just trying to figure this out. Let's keep going.
Images of the juvenile.
At our client's insistence, we assisted law enforcement Saturday afternoon and later Sunday, and that goal has now been met.
And have you ever seen a defense attorney so forthcoming with the media and the public? He's given multiple interviews talking about the assistance that his client has given to the FBI in solving this case, basically. Have you ever seen this before? I've never seen this before. I mean, these machinations happen behind the scene, but have you ever seen a defense attorney acting as a pseudo spokesperson for a defendant in the manner by which this attorney's doing it? There's more here. We're going to figure it out soon.
Bringing complete closure, at least
eventually
with
it's going to come
respect to
out.
this stage of the investigation, for everybody involved, but most important, the family of Ms. Buzbee.
Are you saying she's been recovered?
I'm saying that, yes.
Very interesting.
So Thomas is being held here on a $1.5 million bond. Szymanski said in court today that Thomas has no intention of paying that. Charges in Hocking County are expected. Reporting.
All right, big shout out to everybody who's watching us right now. We have over 150 people watching the live stream. Please hit the like button, support the channel. Hit the like button, support the channel so we can get into the algorithm. One more exhibit for you guys, and I got to go to work. Let's keep going.
Suspected in the death of a 17-year-old girl from Indiana, just making his first appearance in a Columbus courtroom. We've also now learned that Hailey Buzbee's body has been found. It happened in Perry County. She was reported missing from outside Indianapolis nearly a month ago. Police say Tyler Thomas, the suspect, met her through online gaming.
Right.
Aaron Simonek is live on your side to break down all these new developments. Aaron.
Yes, Mike, good afternoon to you. A disturbing update in this case involving the 17-year-old girl from Indiana. 39-year-old Tyler Thomas is currently behind bars here after his arraignment this morning here in Franklin County. He's facing charges currently of pandering obscenity and tampering with evidence tied to the disappearance and death of 17-year-old Hailey Buzbee. Now, Thomas's attorney, Sam Szymanski, says Buzbee's body was found in Perry County, Ohio, where Thomas led authorities himself to the exact location over the weekend. She was reported missing back on January 5th. Now, investigators believe Hailey died days after she disappeared. Police say detectives were able to track a vehicle seen in Hailey's neighborhood the morning she went missing back to Thomas. Now, according to court documents, Thomas admitted to picking the girl up, and investigators believe the two met, as Mike mentioned, through online gaming.
Right.
Those same court records allege Thomas recorded a video of Hailey performing sex acts at his Victorian Village home and later tried to delete that video from his own cell phone. Police also say evidence shows the two traveled to a short-term rental in Hocking County. We asked his attorney about his involvement in her death. Here's what he had to say.
All right, before they talk about that, this is a lot for a young woman her age. She was running away from something. We spoke about that in the last live. Out of respect for the family, I'm not trying to go too hard, but I'm asking questions, okay? Don't watch my show if you're the family. Don't watch my show, all right? Please don't, because we ask questions here, and sometimes those questions are tough. But guess what? We're not a part of that family. If I was a part of the family, I wouldn't ask those questions out of respect for my loved ones. But I got to ask these questions. What was she running from? What was she running from? She packed a bag. She left the house. She ran away with a 39-year-old man, and then she's popping up from one location to the next. She's never asking for help. She's not screaming stranger danger. She's going from one location to another location with this man, and the only thing that went awry is that, guess what? She lost her life. Why? What was she running from? And what caused him to take her life when, once again, she was giving him everything that he wanted? Let's keep going.
There's a difference between being responsible for certain acts of which one is not proud, and also distinguishing from taking another's life. I can tell you that he will be entering a not guilty plea if and when he's charged with a homicide in this matter, and will proceed accordingly.
Boom. Boom. The attorney's giving us everything that we want, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to plead not guilty if he's accused of taking her life. Why would he do that? Why would he cooperate with the authorities, lead them to the body, but he's not going to plead guilty if he's charged with her murder, unless, of course, he feels like he has evidence, or his defense is, I didn't kill her. I didn't kill her. Let's go back one more time.
A not guilty plea if and when he's
Listen to this.
being responsible for certain.
Hold on
Also
here.
say evidence shows the two traveled to a short-term rental.
And notice in all this evidence they talking about, they're never talking about schmurder. They never talk about schmurder. All they charging him with right now, he was arraigned on the CSAM stuff, not on her murder. And on all these documents, they're not talking about schmurder. Why? This is very odd. Now, listen to his attorney talk about schmurder.
In Hocking County. We asked his attorney about his involvement in her death. Here's what he had to say.
About his involvement in her death. What do you got to say, attorney?
There's a difference between being responsible for certain acts of which one is not proud.
There's a difference between being responsible for certain acts, which one is not proud. He's talking about being involved with her because she's so young. Let's keep going.
And also distinguishing from taking another's life. I can tell you that he will be entering a not guilty plea if and when he's charged with a homicide.
And then distinguishing between taking somebody else's life. And he's going to plead not guilty if he's charged with a homicide. If he's charged with a homicide.
Matter, and will proceed accordingly. But again, at this juncture, all I can emphasize is his complete and unfettered cooperation with respect to locating the remains.
This is the thing, bro. When these dudes engage in these situations with vulnerable people and things happen, like might have happened in the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case, and somebody ODs, they're dumb people. He's not going to say, listen, I'm not doing nothing wrong. The age of consent is 16. She's 17. I'm calling the cops because she's ODing right now. No. He panics. He gets scared. He disposes of the body. There's a good chance. And even the LAPD said that there's a chance. And even the coroner's office, the medical examiner said there's a possibility that Celeste died from a drug overdose. People who know Celeste said that Celeste used to use drugs and Celeste in her own words said she lost her virginity to a 20-something-year-old man after she got drunk. Is it possible that she OD'd, David panicked, and rather than call 911, he put a body in the trunk? Is it possible this guy introduced her to substances she had no business being introduced to? She OD'd, and he threw her body wherever he threw her body. It's possible, because this does not seem to be playing out like the run-of-the-mill, I killed her, I confessed, I led the police to the body, I plead guilty, this goes away, we move on to the next tragedy. This one seems a little complicated.
Now, prosecutors say he has no prior criminal history. He's being held on a $1.5 million bond. Murder charges are expected and will likely be filed in Hocking County. Thomas's attorney says his client will enter a not guilty plea. He would not comment on why his client was involved with a minor or further details as to how Hailey lost her life. Multiple agencies, including the Columbus Police homicide detectives and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, along with the FBI, are continuing this investigation. Thomas is expected back in court on February 10th. We will continue to follow further updates in this tragic turn to this case throughout the day today. For now,
all right, once again, all I said is these are just theories, okay? At the end of the day, this young woman lost her life, and this guy most likely took her life. I'm not saying that I believe that he didn't kill her. I don't know that, man. I would never say that definitively. This is a theory. I'm just theorizing, okay? I know people make fun of me when I say theory. I'm from New York. Then I had one person say, I'm from New York and I don't talk like that. Well, go screw yourself. You're not from my part of New York. We have no way of knowing what happened. We'll figure it out eventually. Hopefully the autopsy result will give all and reveal all. And if this guy asphyxiated her, you know, obstructed her breathing, shot her, stabbed her, whatever it may be, well, that's what it is. And we will definitely seek justice on this guy as a community, the people's justice, man's justice. I'm just throwing it out there that who knows what may have happened, because this is very interesting the way it's playing out. And I just want to make that very clear. And I want to make it very clear that this type of show is not a show for family members. So if you're a family member and you come here, please don't be upset with us for asking questions. This is not that type of show. This is a show where we do ask those questions, and sometimes those questions can be uncomfortable. And I want to say one more thing that I found very peculiar and interesting. The reporter says he didn't want to answer questions as to why his client was involved with a minor. That is a very good question. But the real question that we should be asking is, why does Ohio and Indiana allow men of this man's age to lawfully be with minors? That's the question we should ask, because every single day in Indiana and Ohio, men are involved with girls of that age, and it's perfectly lawful as long as they don't kill them and as long as they don't record the act. So as a society, as a reporter, she should ask that question, because he is involved in the unaliving of this beautiful young woman. But as a society, we should be asking ourselves, why do you allow that? 16 is too young. It's too young. And every mother and every father out there that's watching this can say the same thing. It's too young. And all of us were 16. And most of us have been put in certain situations that maybe we regret that we're adults or we're not proud of. And we could tell you we weren't ready. We weren't ready at 16. So why does Indiana and Ohio say that their children are ready at 16? That's the question we should be asking, ladies and gentlemen. That's the question. All right, guys, I love you guys immensely. Just hit that like button. We have 215 people watching this impromptu live stream. We just went live. We didn't even give you guys notification. We can't even blame YouTube that people didn't get notified, because we went live so quickly. But over 200 people watching and only 126 likes. We're going to ask that you please hit that like button, support the channel, so that we could get into the algorithm and this show could be shown to a wider audience and hopefully save a life and bring awareness to these victims. I love you guys immensely. I appreciate you guys' support. We see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace. on here? Patsy M1 says, even at 21, the brain isn't fully developed. Patsy, let's not be prudes here. 21 is very old. 21 is old enough to get the naughty on. I'm out of here. Peace.